Yo, what's good, y'all? It is your boy Storm Sage coming to you. And yes, the Fate of the Valve League has patch notes did drop. I'm a little late, but you know we are going to be diving into the Monk and Huntress changes specifically. Let's go ahead and jump into it. Abyss has been added as a core mechanic, so that will be another in-game mechanic that will be added. Monk and Huntress, let's go ahead and look at some general changes. The Amazon Elemental Surge change. Base ability is now Pure Lightning, 3 stacks. So that means that there's no longer has to be a fire and ice. You can just basically use Elemental Surge with lightning only. Surging Avatar on the Amazon node now creates 2 of each element. So you get the double, which means more damage, but you do have to utilize, it looks like you are going to have that Ignite and the Freeze or Chill. Invoker, protect me from harm, less punishing to take. They dropped it from 50% to 35%. Amazing change. Soul Springs grants additional meta skill reservation. They're trying to raise up less played, ascendancies and nodes and directions. So maybe they're trying to get people to go with the meta skill variant for monks. Unbound Avatar has a base cooldown now. I believe it was 12 seconds. Can't stack faster. There's no cap with multiple ailments, but the shocking and the igniting was cut in half. The fury stacks originally were 2 and now they're 1. All around buffs to Acolyte. Still no skill. That's what I'm looking for specifically, is a new skill added to the game to really assist and help with the Acolyte of Chiyula. There's nothing that involves chaos damage and hits, like a hit variant chaos ability. They do have the dodge one, Unraveling and Void Illusion in the Acolyte tree, but I don't think those are enough. We need something in the base monk skill set to really pop off and add that, make that class and ascendancy a proper choice, or up to the level of Invoker. Passive skill tree notables. Hollow Palm attack speed per item evasion was nerfed, but the base unarmed attack speed was buffed. So they did buff the base unarmed attack speed. So when you switch over to that, it will be higher on a base level, but you can't scale it. You can't scale the Hollow Palm attack speed as far, or you can't. It's 75 to 25. So originally you only needed 25. Now you need 75 to hit those marks. They added 3 new attack area effect clusters to the monk part of the passive tree. Don't know what they are, what they look like, but notable. A lot of the monk skills are area effect, so that might be nice to add to when you're leveling. Remnant Attraction and Pure Power and Wildstorm Lightning nerfs. So Remnant Attraction is something they added new on the tree, something that you would be able to utilize to attract those remnants. I think that accounts for the sorcerer mana remnants, as well as acolytes. So we'll have to see if that all inclusive, but Pure Power as well has been nerfed, and Wildstorm also has been nerfed. So a couple of hits to lightning nodes on the tree that we would take. Skill changes. So this is going to be most of this particular video. Palm skill made the fill better. They made it just, it seems like based on the writing and the information, they just made it a little bit smoother to utilize. It also, when you're traveling to a enemy and the enemy explodes or dies before you go off, it's still, the effect still triggers. So that's nice. Whirlwind buff was buffed from 4 to 8 seconds for your Huntress. New wind tags have been added. Twister, Whirling Slash, Wind Blast, Wing Blast, Whirlwind Lance, Wind Serpent's Fury, Tornado Shot. The projectiles created by Staggering Palm also tagged with that wind. The only reason why I put this in here is I've been clamoring for the third ascendancy to be some type of wind avatar class. We have all the setup in the class already. Daze mechanic has gotten a lot better with that 0.3 changes. And so and there's a mechanic with the vaulting impact as well. So it's definitely there. And so with this new wind tag, I'm just letting you know that I wouldn't be surprised if that third monk ascendancy, whenever it comes out, is going to be that wind class, that wind avatar. Think Avatar A. Wind Blast tier 3 can get earlier. So originally, I believe it was either 5 or 4 where Wind Blast was available as a skill gem. You can now get it as a tier 3 skill gem. So it's something that you can actually start, utilize instead of some of the other choices for those tier 3 levels. And that's with your monk. Huge spirit reservation reductions for barrier invocation, and the big one is elemental conflux. And elemental conflux originally was 100 spirit. It is now 60. Those are the only ones that I saw that really affected the Huntress and the monk, but they've knocked down a lot of the higher ones that were in the hundreds. They've knocked a couple others down. So if you play with any other class, make sure you check the patch notes to see if one of those come down. I think that's a huge buff to a lot of classes. The spirit, some of them were 100, and the effects that they would provide just weren't worth it. Disengage now scales up to 3 frenzy charges on parried interaction. This is nice. They're trying to get people to utilize that parry system with the Huntress. I don't think this is going to change anything, but we'll see. Huge explosive spear buffs as well. Explosive spear has been buffed pretty heavily. Let me see if I can't find explosive spear real quick. Yeah, now gains a +1 limit of lodge spears every 8 gem levels, and the blast went from 543 on the top end to 724%, and there's already a base 50% increase. So as soon as you use it, it's gonna feel powerful, more powerful than 0.3. So just if you guys loved explosive spear, feels good to utilize. I'm not too big on the ignite effects of it, but it actually feels impactful. It's a fun skill to use, so just keep that in mind. Freezing mark no longer explodes. Okay, so they changed up the mark system. Freezing mark no longer explodes. Marked targets. Jesus, I can't talk today. Marked targets must become frozen and then grants extra cold damage. So basically, you mark somebody, you have to freeze them with the freezing mark, freeze them, and then you get a buff, extra cold damage on your attacks from there on. For I don't know what the time frame is going to be. We're gonna have to see. I'm sure you're gonna be able to provide supports on there to make it better. This one's big. You see me, I put it in bold, got an underlined. Gathering Storm buffs. I am excited for my Gathering Storm. It's my favorite build. I'll put some real quick gameplay of me playing it. This is old gameplay too. This might be from 0.1 or 2, but it's my favorite ability in the game for the monk. So they added higher DS range, which is beautiful in my head. How do I make this ability actually worth it? This skill actually worth it? Make it so that I can go further. Perfect timing window has been made larger. That's good. There's a support that really does, I think, like 50% more damage but it tightens the perfect timing window. So it should make that a little bit easier to hit. It wasn't too hard before if you utilize the skill, but it felt clunky. Sometimes it works, sometimes it doesn't. And if you faced anything with a slow field or anything else, slowing effect, it really made it awful to use. It's really the biggest issue with the ability is that so many of the enemy effects affect how you can utilize it. But I'll put some real quick, stuff about me using. You'll see it in the top. 20 shockwaves up from 8 and more shockwaves per quality. Log in. Okay, so they really want you guys to use this. It is a very fun ability. The rumble, if you're using controller, the rumble with it is really nice too. Try it, see if you like it. Ghost Dance nerfs, it was coming, y'all. Ghost Dance nerfs, and now it's only a maximum of 3 ghost shards, and I think the ghost shards, you can only gain them from 7.6 seconds all the way to the top end is 6.1 seconds. So it can't go any less than that. And before we were around 3 seconds. So they're just really they're really taking away some of these extra ES energy shield options that a lot of people were utilizing. Glacial Cascade conversion buffs. Glacial Cascade got a buff for the monks. That's maybe something you want to take earlier on when you're leveling. It should be a lot more potent. Glacial Lance, buffed with frenzy charges. So Glacial Lance is another ability, just like the Explosion Spear. You throw the spear out when you have a frenzy charge. It kind of goes in a straight line, and then it shoots off from side to side. And pretty much that explosion now does way more freeze buildup. So you should be able to, if you have a frenzy charge and you choose to use Glacial Lance, it should freeze when it goes off. It should freeze. You can make that very, very large too with supports and pretty much freeze a lot of things on the screen. So that's really interesting. Small Herald of Thunder nerf. You knew it was coming. So it's very small though, guys. Let me look at it real quick, just so I can give you the numbers. The Lightning Herald of Thunder. Oh, I can't. I can't. Alphabets. Herald of Thunder now has an attack damage of 40% to 122%. It was originally 47, so we're losing 7 initial on the base. 143% from there. So again, it's a 20% on the top end nerf. It is going to be felt a little bit, but let's be honest, it was pretty strong and it was almost on every single build. So they're just trying to lessen it a little bit. But you still taking it on Monk. You're still taking that. It just may be a little bit more of a decision between that or Hero Device. Primal Strikes buff. Primal Strikes is a very fun ability with the Huntress. I like it. It's going into more of the Huntress's kind of in and out combo system. Primal Strikes. Final Strike now has plus 20 to melee strike range, and that third ability attack now it applies 50% exposure, which is amazing. It's an elemental exposure, as well. So that means that it affects all elemental damages, not just lightning, even though the ability is a lightning ability. So keep that in mind. So it's just going to be a lot more range to it. I will try it out to see, but plus 20 melee strike range is huge. All right, Spear of Solaris. So they changed this one up. This is the one of the big attacks for the Huntress. Basically, you were to heavy stun an enemy, and you would be able to jump back and throw down basically a UFO laser from space. I don't understand, but that's what it is. No longer generates based off of that heavy stun. You now have to freeze, shock, and ignite, build it up, and then you can use it. So just keep those. That attack is pretty much one that I would only use, for bosses, pretty much. Staggering Palm. Projectiles after level 3 gem, level 3 gems and further get extra attack percentage damages. So they have added a little bit of scaling to it, which is beautiful. Can now get buff and hold it till next pack. So this is big with Staggering Palm. I really like the visuals on this attack for the monk, but a lot of times you would get the buff, do your palm strike, get the buff, and then you would lose it when you finish enemy packs. So this way you can hold on to it. Beautiful. Tempest Bell. No, I didn't see any nerfs with Tempest Bell, but they did make it a larger radius, which I believe is just to help with being able to hit it when you wanted to. And then that shockwave is going to be a little bit bigger as well. Let me see. 2.6. Previously 2.4, so not a big one, and the hitbox has increased. So just making it easier. One of the most weird things about Monk with the bell is sometimes you would hit it or dash to it to apply like a ice effect, ignite, lightning, and it was awkward. So I think they're just trying to make it a little easier for you to do what you want to do with that ability. Thunderous Leap. This is the one for the Thunderous Leap is for the Huntress, and it is basically one of those attacks where she jumps up, slams down, and lightning. It's a wonderful looking attack. You know how I love my lightning abilities, but it will shock more often. So this is just to help out. Pretty much the combo, just to let you guys know, it's usually you want a Thunderous Leap to apply Thunderous Leap to apply that shock, and then you can go ahead and do your primal strike. So I think that's what they wanted to do. Thunderous Sleep into everybody, apply your shocks, maybe put a mark out, you know, try to electrocute, add that to the arsenal, jump with Thunderous Sleep, and then primal strikes. That is, I believe, the combo you want to be looking into. We will see this. We will check in and see if it's good to go as well. Vaulting Impact, basically the other leaping ability, like with Huntress, but this one's for the monk, has a 60-second duration now. Let's go ahead and look. Broken Stance, which is applied by Vaulting Impact, that day's ability, has a 60-second duration now, and your quality on this particular skill will increase the amount of hits that you're able to utilize while they have this Broken Stance on it. So again, you know, I think they're getting ready to release that third monk ascendancy soon, and they're trying to get days and maybe like drunken master type stuff would be nice, but they're trying to get that days and the wind and trying to get that all scheduled and set up for that big ascendancy drop. Voltaic Mark, similar to the ice mark up on top, freezing mark, sorry, it's completely changed. You put a mark on an enemy and then they are more susceptible to electrocution. Once that enemy that you're fighting is electrocuted, you then get a additional lightning damage. So it's just, they've changed the mark system from that explosion type, you know, kill something, mark it, explode. Either way, they just kind of changed it. So we'll see how it works. The application of Voltaic Mark is clunky. So we'll see if there's any way to make it a little easier when we're leveling our monk. Whirling Assault, small buffs to Whirling Assault. I thought it was baseline movement of Whirling Assault has been reworked to be more fluid. Now has +1 second to total attack time, previously 1.4. Now has +14 to melee strike range at all gem levels, and it has a 1% more area effect per gem level. So as you go up, you'll get that area effect to be wider, and the melee strike range has been increased heavily, so it should be hitting more things. To be honest with you, everything that I see here is awesome. I still don't know what the role for Whirling Assault is within the monk class. I just don't know what its purpose is. Would love to see them do something with Whirling Assault that is Acolyte of Chiula based, maybe something where you can change it and it, I don't know. You utilize Whirling Assault when you have a bunch of, you know, the embers or fires on the ground, and it collects them and shoots them out, you know, whatever. I don't know. But I feel like Whirling Assault, I don't see a lot of people running it because it feels kind of awkward. And then Wind Dancer, small nerf to the gale damage on Wind Dancer. Basically, it's just a small nerf, nothing crazy, but it's on the damage of the gale damage and not the actual passive itself. All right. And then just to go over a few unique changes that I saw, specifically that are lightning based that look interesting. Lightning Coil has been completely, that's the chest armor. I believe it's armor and dexterity is on it, if I believe correctly. But it's 50% hits taken as lightning damage. So it went up about 10. From 30 to 50, from 20 to 40 to 30 to 50. And Valako's Bolts, which is basically the skill on the chest armor, can chain twice and deal 100% more damage. So this is going to be a really nice build or item, potentially for Druid. Druid's supposed to be energy shield and armor. But you know, armor and dex, and then try to get my energy shield other places. This might be nice as when you think about when you're watching the Druid, you could just tell you're going to be in the mix, right? You're going to be in the mix. You're going to be getting hit. It's not an agile class. So an effect like this may be much better on the Druid than on, let's say, the monk, or even the monk, though you're pretty much in there. Definitely not the Huntress. Thunder Fist Crackling Palm they upped it to a 50% base crit. That's awesome. 40% more lightning at all levels. So which just they just made it stronger. I didn't get to really play around with this last season. So last league. So we'll try to get it and play around with it. This one, Choir of the Storms, they nerfed it. I believe it was only a 1 second cooldown before. Now between those lightning attacks, and now they nerfed it. It's every 5 seconds, which is fine. It was very strong on a lot of builds. And Olaravasara was buffed. There's 2 of these. This is a lightning one-handed mace, I think, and then there's also Mornir. So they have a little bit of these lightning ability one-handed maces, and maybe something that's interesting for the druid again, since they are going into that armor area. So we'll see. But I think they have their own. I mean, you can use weapons on anybody, but they have their own. So we'll be figuring that out first before we start tinkering around. But that's it. That's all for the Monk and Huntress. I just wanted to pick some things out for you guys to kind of look at, for you guys to be aware of. Overall, the changes look great. One of my favorite abilities has been mentioned, and they added a lot to it. So we will definitely jump on the Monk at some point in the league to see how that feels. Other than that, that is it. That's all I got, y'all. Again, always follow my future sages. Always follow your ninja way. I will see you guys on the flip side. Peace.